Some of these other countries, they don't have a thing that's called the First Amendment, so that's the first thing that's going to be abused. Larry Kutzler, producer, you wanted to weigh in here.
Well, I'm a student of the last days, as you are, Jan and Eric, and I know that the last days are days, if you were going to define them, they're days of control. And we see more and more of the freedoms of the individual going by the wayside because the elitists in our governments, they think they know better. And the internet has been able to express the truths of the gospel, to tell the truth about
That's
government,
right.
and they don't want that freedom to continue. So they obviously want to move in this direction.
Eric, and you made 3 points to me earlier today, and you said that even if a person is not online, they need to be plugged into why this is an issue of huge importance. Number one, for the sake of our nation, for the sake of freedom, and for the sake of the gospel. Explain what you mean.
Well, for the sake of the nation and our survival, I believe communication and truthful communication with events happening and what our politicians are up to and so on is paramount. The sake of freedom, one of the things America was built on was the idea of freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. All those things are in jeopardy if an international body would get a hold of the internet. Whether listeners right now understand it or like it or know it, the internet is a huge, huge part of the way we communicate in the world today. In my estimation, it is the biggest way to communicate. Some people would say bigger than TV. Well, take a look around and see the information coming across the internet. And I agree. Anybody can write anything on the internet and suddenly somebody else thinks it's truthful. But once you learn how to read through those things and ferret out what is right and wrong and good and bad, the internet is a fabulous tool. And the third point is it is a great way to spread the gospel.
Amen.
And so far, the gospel has not been turned off on the internet. But this would be exactly what the United Nations and Resolution 1618 that we've talked about here on the air. We talked to Michelle Bachmann about it and others, and we've discussed it many times here. Resolution 1618 makes it illegal to speak about someone else's religious beliefs. If the UN or a body like that would get a hold of the internet, then could they theoretically make it illegal for us to put our podcast on so that others around the world would be able to hear what we have to say? Would it be illegal for you and I and many, many others to write their newsletters and put them on the internet to warn people about what is happening around us and to preach the gospel faithfully, including speaking out against Islam? So you think about those points and you understand that this is a very, very perilous thing that Obama is proposing to do.